everybody, Febrigan here. I'm gonna make this video today going over this new image that Disney Dreamlight Valley released on their Twitter account for the showcase, which by the way, I will be live streaming the showcase and I will also be making a bit of a recap and my thoughts on the showcase video afterwards. But for now, I just want to talk about this shot here. So I'm gonna read what they say. Reason number 4 to tune into the showcase. Preview how you can expand the horizons of your decorating toolset with the much-awaited quality of life improvements. Now, I've seen a lot of people assuming it is terraforming. While I do admit this doesn't quite look like anywhere we know on the island or in our valley, I don't necessarily believe that, and I'm going to give you a couple reasons why and why not. But for the most part, I don't think it's going to be terraforming. I could be wrong. It could be. But I think the main thing they are showing off here is the fact that we are going to be able to put things at an angle. While you might at first not realize, if you look closely, Scar's house is at an angle. And this is how I think they're going to set it up. I think they're going to say, do you notice anything different in this shot? And they're going to show Scar's house at an angle, and then they're going to go, hey, while we're at it, let's fix everything else. And I think they're going to rotate the tent. I think they're going to rotate Moana's house. I think they're going to rotate the picnic blanket. And I think they're going to also rotate the pumpkin. Because look at how it's at the corner, but it's facing the wrong way. I could totally just see them being like, let's put everything at an angle. Because imagine it, you rotate the house and then it would fit right in between the two flower pots there. It would be perfect. Even then, the picnic blanket, if you put it at an angle, then it looks like it's sitting under the tree and it's nice in the middle. It could be a lot of different things. But I want to show you something. I think that this is actually this part of the valley. I think this is where this is. I think it's just this shot unedited. Now, the reason why I think that is because of something I'm going to show you here. I'm pulling up the image again so I can show you my pages. If you look back in the 2023 showcase, which was our very first live showcase, they show a house here that we do not have in the game. While you might think, what? But it's actually, another tab I'm pulling up here, a very early concept of Anna and Kristoff's house, which we do not have in the game. Mind you, I hope someday we get this as a house skin, because I think it looks very nice, and I could see it going in a lot of different places besides the Frosted Heights. But this was the original concept for Anna and Kristoff's house, instead of the icy one we have now. So I could see it not being that. And I'm going to show you a shot here. I was looking at it earlier. You have to keep in mind that the Sunlit Plateau has changed a lot. This is from that very early concept trailer, which you also will see at the beginning of your game every time you boot up your game, which I definitely think is interesting, and I'm wondering if they're ever going to change it, because there's so much that they show in that is not a thing in the game. So, for example, the Vitalist Mines are not here. The Vitalist Mines were originally in a totally different part of our valley, for those of you who might not have been around as long. I will show you real quick. The Vitalist Mines were originally all the way over here, like right here, where my mouse is. This is originally where the Vitalist Mines were. This was back before we could access the side of the bridge legit. Before Scar was added into the game, he was the very first character added. There were a bunch of bones blocking this, and no one could break them because we did not have the tool upgrade for it yet. And Scar's house was part of it. His house was not even originally here. There were a bunch of bones blocking here, and no one could legit access this side of the island. There was a glitch that everyone did in which you just pick up your well and move it to the other side of the bridge. I have to admit, I did it too, because the thing that was not necessarily upsetting, but was confusing is that there were still resources spawning over there. So you would need to do a quest to get resources, but your side of the bridge didn't have all the resources. So that was why. But now, after they unblocked the bridge and added Scar, they moved the mine all the way over here. And then it's been like that ever since. It's hard to believe, but I was looking back at it. Scar was our very first character added in the game after the initial update. So with this plus that's why I think that is how it is. So going back to this image here, I would love the idea that it's terraforming, but the more I look at it, the more I don't know. And I will go back and show you guys one thing. Let me do that real quick. So I am actually thinking that this might be something that they're doing. I don't know for sure. This is just a theory I have. Looking at the way that layout is in the image, if it wasn't what I'm saying, where it's just an early concept of the game, or if it's not just the fact that, or if it's not terraforming, which I don't think it is, the only other idea that I have is that we can change the terrain. And what I mean by that is make the sand not sand, so make it grass instead of sand. Which is an idea that I think would be cool, because look, the only reason I think that is the way the curves are and the waterfalls, which let me pull up that image again. 1 second. Pulling up that image again. The only reason that makes me think that is the fact of all of these curves here with the waterfall. The way that it goes off like that, that is the only thing that makes me think this could be the beach instead of the sunlit plateau, which we assume it is, and I still want to assume it is, but it's hard to say. So real quick, I'm gonna just look around and show you what I mean. There's the endless waterfall, which in and of itself is a reference to Atlantis, which I want to remind you guys again that the entirety of Eternity Isle is based off of the Disney movie Atlantis, which if you haven't watched, was part of my, I call it Dreamlight Valley homework that I did. And speaking of that, I need to go and watch Hades. I mean, not Hades. Hercules. I need to go and watch Hercules. I have never watched it, and with Hades coming in the game, for sure, I need to watch the movies so I know what to expect. But the only reason I think that is because of the ever-ending waterfall. But I did notice something interesting that I never noticed. There is a piece of the island here that does not match the terrain of the beach at all, which I feel could either help narrow in my theory or not. The only thing that makes me think no is the fact that if you look all the way in the back, there are more floating islands that don't match this area. I never noticed that really, really huge one out there, which I think would be really cool. I mean, especially, could you imagine it with the fact that we have wings now that actually let us fly? It would be so cool if we could fly from island to island. But another reason why I'm tempted to try to believe in the terraforming theory, which is here, is because of the fact that they say expand your decorating tool set. Which makes me think maybe they would let us, but it's hard to say. I don't know. What do you guys think? Let me know down in the comments below. I've tried to present a couple different options because it's hard to say. Looking at everything and seeing everything, I have a hard time figuring out what I think's gonna happen. I've been trying to figure it all out, but I've looked at this image so long, and like I said, that's my theory. And maybe it's both. Maybe it's terraforming, and it's um and maybe it's terraforming and rotating. It's hard to say. I know people have wanted both, but I don't know if this game can handle the terraforming aspect. I feel like this game, while I love it, like I said, I have thousands of hours in it. The terraforming, I feel, could break the game in a unsatisfying way. And I feel it would be a little frustrating for especially some of our younger players who might have more of a hard time with it. I don't know. Let me know what you guys think in the comments below, and thank you guys so much for watching. Have a good one.